Hello, my darlings. I'm so excited to be back here with you. And this time I have Lisa Hill with me. Lisa is a weaver from Massachusetts, and she's come all this way to film 2 episodes with us on Deflected Double Weave. Now, I have been aware of Lisa's weaving for maybe 2.5 years, and I stumbled across her on Instagram. She is Plain Weave on Instagram. And all of a sudden I saw this big, amazing, blown up color and weave thingy on some structure. I think it was summer and winter. Anyway, in the caption it said something about meta weave. So I sent her a little text, a little comment on Instagram, and I said, "Hi, what the heck is meta weave?" And so then I got this big, long explanation back, which ended up with this big, long conversation which led eventually to this. Anyway, I'm so happy you're here.
Oh, Jane, well, I have to say that first message from you on Instagram, I immediately had to write all my friends, Jane Stafford just contacted me on Instagram. And I was so excited that you had seen my post and that you had asked about it, because I had been a fan of yours since many years ago, and then particularly when you started School of Weaving, because I really felt like it was this just critical puzzle piece of weaving education that you had created and was so necessary. And it just, I was thrilled with it. I became an early subscriber and told everybody I knew in all my classes, you know, you've got to check this out, because it's a epic and such a necessary endeavor that you're offering us. And I say thank you from all weavers that I know. Thank you for doing it.
My pleasure. Okay, I'm blushing. I'm blushing. Anyway, we conversed several times, and then it was that piece that really influenced one of the seasons where we overlaid color and weave on top of units, blocks, and profiles. So that must have been season 7. And I said in the very introduction to that season that it was Lisa's work that really, really pushed me to create that entire season, overlaying color and weave ideas on all those 4 shaft structures, on 8 shafts, on single threads, on units, and on blocks. So that was a fabulous year, and we have continued to overlay color and weave on so many things. However, when I asked Lisa if she would come and teach this episode, I was struggling about the path, how it should go, what we should do, how to keep it relevant to things that we've done in the past. And I was again on Instagram. I do other things, but once in a while, I spend my weekends scrolling through all the amazing stuff that's on Instagram. And there was a post by Janet Phillips. And Janet Phillips had just posted this gamp from Deflected Double Weave. So she had woven a gamp, an 8-shaft gamp, using Deflected Double Weave. And I'm doing a plug for Janet Phillips' book, Exploring Woven Fabrics. I plugged her first book back in season 2 when we were studying color and design. One of the reasons I love Janet's book so much, her writing so much, is because she shares her journey. She shares her research, and then she shows how she takes that research and transforms it into a body of work. And that's so important to a weaver, to understand that you just don't open your head one day and pull out all these ideas. It's been hard work. So anyway, I emailed Janet Phillips about that gamp, and we both discussed it and thought a gamp would be a great place to pick this up again with. So I then went back to Lisa and I said, do you remember the 4-shaft threading gamp, the small threading gamp in season 4? Could we use that gamp as a profile for everything that we're going to do for the 8-shaft? So that's the journey, that's the story of how this episode came to be. It's a conversation that's gone on for over a year. There's a lot of thought that goes into these episodes and planning. Anyway, I should just shut up and let you tell them what you're going to teach them.
And so, thank you for that lovely introduction. And the idea of using this great twill gamp and turning it into a deflected double weave project, it's one of the best ways that I can think of to explore possibilities in deflected double weave, which is a very, very deep well. You could weave nothing but deflected double weave for your whole weaving life and still be curious and still come up with combinations. So starting with a gamp so that you can sort of see some of the combinations that you can get. And there are always surprises. That's the other thing. The surprises keep coming with this structure, I think.
And I think they keep coming with any gamp.
Yeah,
because we can
true.
Never imagine how one treadling is going to affect a threading or a threading a treadling. And so, you know, you end up with this Trompus Rit deflected double weave gamp, but it has 7 different threadings across the warp and 7 different treadlings, which nets you 49 amazing squares from which you can begin your design journey, your interpretation journey. So you tell them a little bit more about where you took that after this.
And so thinking about this, you know, in the terms of the gamps and all these possibilities that are there, but then also thinking of it as a 4-block structure with 4 treadling blocks. And so I just went back to basics and thought, okay, what if we treadled this gamp with just 2 treadling blocks, A, B, A, B, A, B, and then a different combination, so A, B, B, C, A, B, C, C, D, D, A, and look at what just 2 treadling blocks, all the possibilities. And again, thinking of these as design components.
Got to turn that towards Al. Remember, this is
okay,
her first time.
First time, sorry. I'm talking to you.
That's okay.
And so thinking of these columns as possible combinations that could be combined with motifs in the gamp. And so those are 2 blocks, and then we go to the combination that I like to call squiggles and dots, which are the squiggles and dots that you get when you're treadling with 3 blocks. And so these are all combinations of 3-block treadlings. And again, thinking of it in the way that you present your design ideas, which is sort of components, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at components that I can put in a future design.
All these wonderful verticals can become borders. When they're paired with another one. So there are 7 gamps here, which Lisa's going to present in great detail as we go through everything. But that's not all. I said, you know, we have our 4-shafters and we can't forget them.
And once again, sort of drawing on Jane's presentation in past seasons and thinking about deflected double weave, but also thinking, you know, what can we do on 4 shafts and thinking of ways to make it richer. So in this piece, which is a 4-shaft deflected double weave in the body of the scarf, but at the ends to add a little verve, I took some of the denting ideas and basically skipped a block so that we have open spaces that then we can mess around with the fringes and play with the fringes in ways to make it a little bit more interesting and fun.
So much fun. And it does have a front and a back, or an interchangeable side. You know, one side looks different than the other. Gorgeous hand,
and
gorgeous
the
drape.
yarn is a dream. It's the 16/2 bamboo and the and merino, and it's just a cloud of softness.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
But then she went somewhere else.
There's more.
Yeah, it's like that Ginsu knife commercial.
And when I was looking at the threading, it brought to mind a structure that I loved and that Jane has explored extensively, which is M's and O's. In this case, we took an M's and O's, looked at this threading and thought that looks like a turned M's and O's threading. So we took the tie-up, turned it, and came up with a turned M's and O's version on the same threading, on the same warp. And it, again, is a lovely design with a lot of drape and a lot of fun, and it reinforces those the knowledge that you got from all your explorations of M's and O's. It's another possibility with M's and O's.
It just solidifies all the years that we have been looking at these 4-shaft structures, and we see how interrelated they are. You know, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. Where have we seen that? We've seen that in Overshot. We've seen that in Monk's Belt. We've seen that in M's and O's. Recurring themes. How can we put them all together? Anyway, that is our episode, and I get to step back and let her take over. And it's another amazing moment here at the School of Weaving.
So,
see ya.
gonna have some fun.